Hi, David. Congratulations to Hungary. We were following you really a lot in Lithuania, and it was exciting to see how Fidesz is going down, how Orbán is going down finally.
Yeah,
So congratulations to you. And
thank you.
I was following and seeing that you personally was really active in the campaign. So first of all, can you say a little bit some words? You were a Budapest council member, you were a parliament member, yeah, and you
Yes.
are in our Liberal Party Momentum board now. So how what were you doing in the campaign, and how did you succeed to do what you did?
Yes. Okay. So, first of all, most important thing, our party, Momentum, that I'm a part of, we have been in the parliament for the past 4 years. I have been the group leader of my party in parliament. But last year in June, Momentum and myself, we decided we're not going to run in this election that happened last night. And the reason for that is our election system. Our election system is very much rigged. It very much favors the governing party Fidesz, and basically every single party that runs in the election decreases the probability, the possibility of regime change. And since that was our most important thing, we decided to make this sacrifice, even though it is a very unorthodox decision that a parliamentary party decides not to run in the election. We decided we're not going to run, and we are going to support TISA and help them as much as possible in order for them to win this election. And I'm happy to say that we have been successful. TISA has been successful. The whole of Hungary is ecstatic right now. More than 3 million people voted for TISA. They won with a constitutional majority, which means that is a clear way for regime change. In the past 8 months, we have been campaigning for this change. I personally visited more than 60 villages, strongholds of Fidesz, and I was talking to people there, making reports about these conversations, and trying to convince as many people as possible to vote for change. And it has been a very, very exciting campaign season. Even though we didn't run in the election, even though we didn't have a skin in the game, so to say, we still were very enthusiastic about campaigning and doing what we can, even though we didn't run in this election.
Yeah.
Now a totally new chapter has opened in Hungarian history. We're all very excited to see what's going to happen. Um, I think there's a long way to go, a very long way to go, but this is the first day of a bright new future in Hungary. At least that's what we're hoping for.
Yeah, I hope so. What was the campaign about? In Lithuania, we are really pro-Ukraine, and to see Zelensky portraits being used as a threat to Hungarian people was
Yeah,
like, I don't know, even for me and for many of my fellows, like crazy.
it
Uh,
is. It
so
is.
so it was being used in the Hungary. What other stuff was used, and did you feel Kremlin influence a lot in
Absolutely,
these elections?
absolutely. Unfortunately, there was serious Russian interference from that we saw in the election. Of course, on the side of Fidesz, and actually one of the main campaign topics from the opposition side, from Momentum and from TISA, one of the main message was we have to cut ties with Russia and go back to our Western alliances, um, being become a pro EU country with a pro EU government that doesn't help Russian interests within the European Union. So that was one of the main topics. Obviously, Fidesz, they have been pushing this false narrative about war, how Hungary will also join the war if they don't win. But as we see from yesterday's news and yesterday's elections, the majority of the country didn't believe it anymore, even though they have spent hundreds of billions forints and billions of euros for propaganda. They have built this very effective propaganda machine, but people don't believe that anymore. And that is something that I'm so incredibly happy about, because we have been fighting against propaganda. We have been fighting against propaganda for the past almost a decade, and specifically in this campaign. So it really just warms my heart that less and less people believe it.
Yeah.
And
So
it was surreal today seeing the state TV, because the state TV was, the flagship TV of the propaganda, and today they actually had a very balanced news. Yeah, we had our new prime minister, or soon to be prime minister, Peter Magyar. He had this 3-hour press conference, and they actually had a live of that, which is incredible, because opposition politicians, they cannot go to state media so far in this campaign. And now today they had a balanced news, it was so interesting to see that somehow they became independent and became balanced, unbiased news from one day to another. So this is
okay.
just
So
one change we saw from yesterday that has been just surreal. And for us Hungarians, state media was something that was that was really just the cornerstones of the propaganda machine, always lying, always spewing hate. And just today it was so surreal to see that it transformed from one day to another.
and opposition parties were banned from the state TV completely, you mean?
Well, not completely banned. That what they did is they only invited opposition politicians that were helping the regime. So
Okay.
so
Okay.
smaller parties.
Yeah.
For example, parties that decided to run in this election, they were invited to try to
Mhm.
ramp up support from them, so they take away from TISA, right? But the
Okay.
leader of the opposition party, TISA, our soon-to-be prime minister Peter Magyar, he has never been to the state media, which is actually just crazy. And
Yeah.
just today, they covered the whole 3-hour press conference. So
Mhm.
things
And did
changed.
you find your foreign minister today?
Yes, actually, there were some reporting and then some rumors as well. And Peter Magyar announced that actually he got some information from within the foreign ministry that they are hard at work.
Ah,
They are actually deleting files from their computers,
oh,
and they are also burning and destroying evidence related mostly to Russia and Russian sanctions. So
okay.
this is something that is worrying news. But I think the new government will do everything in their power to
Mhm.
prosecute and to find all the necessary evidence in order to see the whole truth.
Okay, yeah. Can you tell me also a little bit about Budapest Pride during the campaign? It was some event, yeah,
Yes,
because Orbán tried to ban the event at all
they did.
cost, but
They
but
did
the
ban it, but they were
politicians
unsuccessful.
stood.
Yes. Yes. It was a very big event. More than 300,000 people came together
Yeah.
despite the ban and despite threats from police and from the government. And I'm really hoping that this ban will be lifted uh, when the next Pride comes. Um, Tisa said that every person in Hungary has the right to assemble, and every
Mhm.
person has the right to love whoever they want to. Obviously, they're a center right party. They're a more conservative party than we are. So they're not going to be the champions of the LGBTQ community. But still, I think that's going to be still a very big step forward compared to the last 16 years.
Okay, because there are some prosecutions from that event, yeah, still going on,
Yes.
or
Oh,
some
yes.
judicial
Yes.
processes.
There,
Yeah.
there are a few. So we will see. We will see what happens to those.
Okay. And do you have concrete promises from the new soon-to-be prime minister? What is he going to do reform the constitution back again, focus on some specific fields? What's his first, I don't know, agenda items on the list?
Yeah, well, as far as we saw and what he talked about, especially today, is the first and most important thing is regime change, removing people from office that are supposed to be independent and supposed to be leading independent institutions, like the Public Prosecution Office, the Supreme Court, the president of the country. So I think these are going to be the most important first steps in order to start prosecuting the criminals of the past 16 years. That is the next important step. Obviously, a new constitution will be also an important step in the process of regime change. But I think that comes further down the line because that takes time. When it comes to policy, their most important areas are healthcare and education and economy, and also bringing home the European funds that were withheld from Hungary in the past 5 years. That is another important point. And when it comes to foreign policy, strengthening and restoring the relationship with our Western allies, and becoming a European country again.
Do you think there will be a reform on national broadcaster as well, or you just
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
It's just needed to normalize, yeah? Well,
Yes. What he actually promised as soon as they come into government and the new government is formed, they will stop all broadcasts from state media, and they will not restart it until everything has been they will not restore it until it's a truly independent state media.
Okay. So thank you so much for this brief interview. So best of luck.
Thank you for talking to me.
We are celebrating and cheering with you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
We saw people on metro just, clapping their hands.
I was out on the streets until 4 a.m. yesterday as well. It was a huge festival. It's I've never seen anything like this. I was really ecstatic. People were so enthusiastic. It was absolutely crazy.
Okay, so do you think that this momentum will bring as well momentum for momentum?
I hope so. I truly hope so. Yes. Well, we will see down the line. Obviously, we're not going to give up. We're going to continue fighting for liberal values and liberal people in this country. So we will see what the future holds for us.
Good. So thank you, David. Best
Thank
of luck.
you as well. Take care. Bye-bye.
Ir Asilui aišku, kad reikia saugoti žiniasklaidos laisvę. Ir Asilui aišku, kad reikia rūpintis Lietuvos saugumu. Ir Asilui aišku, kad reikia puoselėti meną ir kultūrą.
Todėl ir Asilui aišku, kad GPM geriau skirti tiems, kurie stiprina Lietuvos demokratiją.
Pavyzdžiui, partijai Laisvė.
Skirk 0,6% gyventojų pajamų mokesčio partijai Laisvė.